Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Love in Order, the show where relationship dilemmas are put on trial and justice is served with a twist. I'm Nikki 24/7, your bailiff for today's proceedings. In this courtroom, we have the Honorable Judge vibes, and we are going to dive deep into a relationship issue and give each side a chance to present their case. Today, y'all all know about this. I mean, you be entangled in them so many times. We're talking about long distance relationships. And I know that is a thing here on this tagged app. The case number is LNO 0102024. We have one side, L the drug. Yes, L the drug, L the addiction, L the great, and Rainmaker, representing those who believe that regular communication and visits can keep a long distance relationship strong. On the other side, however, we have my number one, the best number one, legs to the roof, and Mr. Jamarcus Fox, who argue that physical presence is essential for emotional closeness and consistency. They say that the distance can create a disconnect. It's like when your battery goes low, your phone overheats. That relationship is just going to disconnect 100%. Okay? Now listen, I run a tight ship in here. There are some people who might come up in here who are representing sides who have loose lips. Okay? Not those kind, but loose lips right here. We don't want any cursing. We don't want any vulgarity. We don't want any of that happening because, you guys, this show is on the path to being featured. And every episode that we record, we definitely do use on our YouTube, and also to show the powers that be that we have what it takes to be a featured show. So please control yourself. I'm not talking to a certain Fox or anything like that. Not at all. Not at all. I'm talking to everybody, okay? Just talking to everybody who might let those come out. All right, so again, each team has the opportunity to present their case, and we're gonna have a wonderful episode. So can we please get vibes? Who do you want? You want Smiley J?
Smiley J, the judge.
To make an appearance. Everyone begin to push those buttons and come up here. I'm gonna be in the comments. I'm gonna be out here kicking people out. All right, Smiley J, take it away from here. I'm down in those comments.
Hey y'all, good morning.
Yes. We have our illustrious head juror in the building. Shout out to Top Bash, Smiley J.
How you doing? Listen, y'all.
Her 60 million. Congratulations.
Listen, y'all. I just request y'all get your affairs in order, because when you come to court, if you have some outstanding bills, baby mama drama, you will be sent to jail like last week. So please have your affairs in order before you appear, because this is the real judge. This is the real court.
All right. Shout out to Smiley J. Top Bash, Smiley J. Head juror. We appreciate her time, expertise. Please box up, please. If you're part of the show, please box up. This is Love and Order, episode 10, where we are talking about, again, long distance relationships. We have team 1 is L and Rainmaker, and then we have team 2 is Jamarcus Fox and Legs. All right, so we're gonna get started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Are you ready to have a great show? I know this show is about to be amazing. It's about to be amazing. The courtroom is now in session. I'm your judge. Put some respect to my name, the Honorable Judge Vibes. And sometimes DJ if you're nasty. Shout out to team 1. We have Elder Drug and we have Rainmaker. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello. Good morning to the court. Good morning, Judge. Thank you for having us today. My name is L. The Drug, aka Miss Modern Day Bay. You can catch me every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Host my featured show. It's called Modern Day Bay. It's also on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever you listen to your streaming platforms. It's on all of them. Okay, so just subscribe. Period. Subscribe. Leave me a 5-star review. I appreciate it.
Don't forget that birthday party I'm hosting.
There is a birthday. It's Virgo week. Happy Virgo season, everyone. On behalf of the Virgos, we're gonna be friends real quick. On behalf of the Virgos,
did we forget this is all? It's Virgo. It's Virgo takeover.
It's all Virgo.
Period.
Turn up.
Period.
Turn
Today
up.
is Nikki Knight's birthday. Tomorrow.
It is Nikki Knight.
On Wednesday it's Jamarcus. I'm Friday. Rain and Legs we get Legs in August. frame.
Today's Nikki Nights. Today's Nikki Nights, right?
Yeah, today's Nikki Nights, the 16th. Yeah, so when you see her, make sure you wish her a happy birthday. Shout out to SB. Shout out to Snow Baby. I see y'all. Big Virgo energy.
You heard what she said? She said what she
Good
heard.
morning, good morning, Honorable Judge Vibe and esteemed members of the court. My name is Rainmaker. I am your friendly neighborhood Rainmaker. You can catch me at the Continental. We do every Thursday nights. We do a situation. I'm not going to say what we do, but y'all know exactly what Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern is. And also every Sunday at 9 Eastern, we do Pen Flow, which is the first and only poetry workshop featured show on TAG. So you can catch me at the Continental.
We appreciate that. Shout out again to all the Virgos. Team 2, we have none other than Jamarcus Fox and Legs. Man, salute both of you brothers. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know where to find you.
Why did you put us together? That's the question. I could have been with Elder Drug. I could have been with Rainmaker. Why did you put us together? Will you go, sir?
Oh no.
Go ahead, guys.
The best goes last.
We on time. We on
last and whatnot.
He still had an abundance of words before when I said ladies go first, so ladies went first. Anyway, top badge, Jamarcus Fox, the 5-foot ox that rocks the box. Funniness. Now you're gonna hear them talk about stuff. You got Rainmaker talking all monotone, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this.
These are just your intro, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
This is my intro. Ma'am, I didn't interrupt you. Ma'am, sir, ma'am, folks, sir, ma'am, sir.
Objection.
Didn't interrupt you.
Bailiff.
Can I have a new teammate?
All right.
Can I get a new
Here we
teammate?
go. Legs, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Legs to the Roof. I'm here for a good time. I'm here to help y'all learn how to spend money the right way. Because everybody ends up gifting, but I want you to be able to say, yeah, I gifted the right person. My number one's awesome. My number one is just like amazing. He always got my back. So I'm here to help you learn how to do that. Today, we are here to talk about these long distance relationships, and we're gonna get down to the nitty gritties.
Let's go. All right. Introductions already done, so we're gonna have team one stay in the box. Team 2, please box down. We'll bring you up in just a minute. This is how it goes down in my courtroom. It's 3 rounds. There's the opening round, opening statements, and then there's round 2 where we do our presentation of evidence, and then there's a round 3 where we do our closing statements. In round 1 and round 2, we'll have one team in the box at a time. During round 2, which is the presentation of evidence, every team gets 1 objection. In the courtroom, we'll have both teams. It's going to be chaotic. Both teams in the box at the same time. Without further ado, we want to get the court started. Let the proceedings start. It's the opening statements. We have team 1, Elder Drug and Mr. Rainmaker.
Good morning, jurors, members of the court, and Judge Vibes. I am so excited to be here today. Your Honor, today we present a case exploring the complexities of long-distance relationships. While physical presence is often viewed as a cornerstone of intimacy, we argue that regular communication and visits can equally foster emotional closeness, trust, and independence. We will provide evidence on how the absence of physical proximity can impact relationships and discuss the potential benefits of being a part. Our objective is to illustrate that while physical presence is valuable, long-distance relationships can thrive through consistent effort, communication, and personal growth.
Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Judge Vibe. So we are presenting the benefits of long-distance relationships. Long-distance relationships are as equally beneficial as well as close proximity relationships. There is no data stating that these relationships do not work, have not been very successful, and at some point in the relationship, it has been long distance at some time. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
All right. Team 1, thank you for your opening statements. Does that conclude your opening statements, both of you?
Yes,
Yeah.
Judge.
All right. We have team 1 box down. We have team 2 box up. Gentlemen, we on a time constraint. Please do me a favor.
He made it.
Be courteous and respectful to each other. Also, make sure that we keep it brief because we are on the time. Let's go, Judge.
I will go first, real quick. Let me keep this real brief. We are here to discuss long distance relationships. Our side is here to discuss the need for presence, not just physical touch, but presence, like a physical presence. Also, and that's my opening statement. Go ahead.
Okay, so the reason why I feel like long distance relationships are bad is because a lot of people haven't moved on to their initial love language, right? You hear everybody talking about physical touch, physical touch. I got to be physically present for that. But to move beyond that physical touch, I feel like that requires communication. But at a point in time where you don't want to be physically touched, maybe you can't be physically touched. So therefore, that long distance relationship is there because it's in your mind. You haven't moved beyond that. I need somebody to physically touch me. A lot of people don't understand how to put forth that effort. Therefore, long distance relationships are bad because I gotta drive 4, 5 plus 6 plus hours just to physically touch you, just to take you out on a date. Whereas you could be going to work and you got whomever, however, whatever the unknown possibilities happen. So honestly, if there's a lot of people that aren't emotionally and mentally mature, long distance relationships are going to be bad for them. You can drift away. Y'all either have to have a schedule, and if you're not a planner, that's not really gonna work for you. So honestly, if you're not mature enough to handle that long distance relationship, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna end like how it's been ended, and you might end up in the extra friendly phase. Some people might call it a three-letter phase, heaven on earth type
Mhm.
phase. So I would just say guard your loins, guard your mental capacities, and really take a long, hard look at long distance if it's really good for you. Because I promise you, it's a lot harder than you think it is.
All right. Does this conclude the opening statements for Team Two? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Everything's good. Okay. Team One, box up, please. If you're just joining us, this is a Love and Order. I'm your host, Judge Honorable Judge Vibes. In a bit, no, stay up. You can stay up. You can stay up. You can stay up. We're gonna bring both teams. This is round two. I'm your honorable host, Judge Vibes, and we are going into round two. You just heard round one. Opening statements from both teams. Team one, team two. Team one being Elder Drug and Rainmaker. Team two being Jamarcus Fox and Legs. So now we're going to go into round two, where we present evidence. That means each team has the opportunity to object. One objection with a brief description of why you object during this, if you so found, and it's up to me to decide whether to sustain or overrule. All right, let's get it. Shout to Rainmaker, shout to everybody, shout to team one, team two in the box. Let's go, guys. So we're gonna have L
Oh,
and Rainmaker. Go ahead. You go ahead and start your. You can start. Go ahead and start your evidential presentation, please.
yes, thank you, Your Honor. My fellow co-counsel will be going back and forth through this segment, so just allow us to get everything out. But I'd like to start off with our first argument, and that is regular communication as the foundation, excuse me, of emotional closeness. All right. Regular communication establishes emotional intimacy, allowing partners to share their daily lives and feelings. So, whenever we think about having a conversation or that anticipation of talking with the person that has been on your mind all day, right? That normally tends to fade once physical closeness comes into the picture. Once you are around each other on a regular basis, there's something that happens called comfort, right? You become comfortable, and you may not show them as much as you think you do how much you appreciate them, how much you value them, and that can in turn cause a breach in the connection that you fostered. Okay. The other thing that I want to present, couples who engage in daily conversations tend to have stronger emotional bonds as they actively invest in each other's lives. Now, I understand that these conversations can be had with closeness and proximity. However, whenever it is not there for you all the time, again, you do not take advantage of it. You are excited. You have things that you have a list of things you want to tell that person that you haven't talked to all day. You have things that you want to go over with them. You have things that you're excited to share with them. And they in turn have the same for you. That breeds that closeness, that builds that emotional intimacy. Now, might I ask the court if you agree that consistent communication allows partners to express their emotions and needs? Now, what better way to communicate those things than by actually doing it? A lot of times we get into a state where we're have you ever sat with somebody, maybe like at home, you're in the living room, you're both in the same room, you're both watching television, maybe someone's on their phone, but you're not really there. A lot of times this happens in with the physical proximity, in-person relationships provide. Whereas in long distance, you're able to maintain that spontaneity, you're able to maintain that spark. Why? Because you don't take advantage of your partner's presence.
Yes.
And
And want to piggyback on what my co-counsel has said. So there are things that says that closeness or familiarity breeds contempt. So a lot of times when we are have access to our partners in a way that is we take it for granted. And so this is where I come in on this. My personal lived experience is that I am married in a long distance relationship. I also have a life partner also in a long distance relationship. My life partner and I have been together for 3 years. My wife and I we just made a year married. We've known each other long distance for 11 years. So my lived experience is definitely on the table as far as that long distance relationships work. They work because of the building of intimacy. We do not take advantage of each other's time. We understand that our time is limited and each moment is that much more intense. And for my exhibit, just to show you, this is my wife.
All right.
She's beautiful.
Thank
Very beautiful.
You're welcome.
Can we continue, Judge, or should we defer to group 2? How do you want to
We'll defer to group 2, and then I'll give you more opportunity.
Gotcha.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
Well,
All right.
thank you, Rainmaker, for story time and sharing your show and tell to the class.
No,
Not everybody can have the long distance poly relationships. Not everybody can have poly. We had a couple episodes on polys, and these mans lost their ever loving minds talking about poly, women throwing all that other stuff in, but that's not the norm. That's not the society, right? Like, everybody is divorcing. Like, as many people as been married, half of them people is divorcing, drifting apart, the lack of effort, all of that good fine. I'm saying, and literally, wait, am I lagging? Not everybody can have all of that, and that's awesome. You need to teach a class. You should have a feature show about that. Oh wait, you do. That's awesome. But I personally, in my opinion, the long distance relationships don't work. Those joints don't work. They move away. You see me, I'm doing me, and hey, I'm kind of ugly, so I'll be outside, and they be like, "Hey, let's go talk to the ugly dude," and you know what I'm saying? It be like that. So to be personally, I can't. I personally can't. It's bad to me. All the statistics in the world say too. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, we can't even stay together. We can't even, you know what I'm saying? Kumbaya type. You know what I mean? So, but that's just the Fox. It's hashtag Fox Folk Week. Legs, if you want to take over. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Actually, I have an objection, Judge. Objection.
Objection. What's the objection?
Yes. It was stated that that's not the norm. That's not what everyone's doing. And I'd like to argue that the norm isn't working for everyone by your own statistics of divorce. Divorce rates are incredibly high. So the norm is not working. You understand what I'm saying?
You misunderstood.
Let's hear the objection. Let's hear the objection, Mr. Mark. Let's hear the objection. Go ahead.
So just, by the own statistics that were brought up in court by our counterparts, I would like to say that the norm is not working for everyone. Therefore, the norm should not be the example that we lead with.
Exactly.
That should not be taken into consideration. Thank you.
I would like to say that you brought up divorce rates, and when we get into talking about divorces, there's usually a couple reasons why. It's usually lack of communication. It's usually things like poor conflict resolution. Physical presence can be facilitated more effective conflict resolution by allowing the parties to address their issues through direct communication rather than relying on solely digital or written forms of communication, even talking through the phone, such as a FaceTime. This actually is a study from John S.M. in the practice of emotional focused couple therapy. So it's kind of funny that you were speaking about divorce rates, because I think divorce leads, once again, poor communication and poor conflict resolution. So they're saying that, being closer actually would help you to strengthen your relationship in terms of conflict resolution. You text somebody and you don't understand the tone of the text message if you don't understand what I'm trying to say. So when you're in somebody's face-to-face conversation, you can pick up the tones a lot easier. You said that communication fades a lot of times when people are close, Drug, because they take it for granted. That's just poor communication. And that can happen also when you're on FaceTime with somebody for hours and y'all are really like playing the video game and the other person's talking to somebody else and stuff. You're not really engaging like you're there either. But then you're like you said, you're not really there, but you're not there at all, right? So at least being there with the physical presence is a form of love language to some people. It might not be everyone's love language, right? But that's a good way to show love. I also wanted to talk about this. Research also indicates that physical presence helps to reduce stress, increase happiness, and improve overall well-being, which are essential for maintaining a healthy relationship, which is our goal in the end of the day, right? Is to maintain that relationship. This is by Harlow H.F., The Nature of Love, American Psych Association. So these things that I brought up are just to help to get you guys to understand how important it is to be in someone's presence. You know, that's all great to build the relationship, but I'm gonna say this, and I think this is really the thing that's gonna win it all. Long distance relationships, most of the time, end goal is to be close. You know, so like most of the time, you know, they'll say something like, you know, we can have a long distance relationship, but in the end, we have to be together. So that's what we're saying, that you know, you really just want to be together. Maybe there's something that's in the way that cannot be together at that time, but the goal is to be on our side, is to be together and have that physical presence.
I would say to that, a long distance does not necessarily, or being together does not yet necessarily equal closeness with your partner. Because your partner is there physically does not mean that you guys are actually close. Doesn't mean that your hearts are actually close. Doesn't mean that there is the intimacy level necessary needed there to be close, right? There are many close relationships or physical relationships where they know nothing about each other, right? And it's not for lack of communication. It is not for lack of talking. It's not for lack of having the conversation. But long distance relationships force you to be more creative in how you express yourself, in what you say, in what is meaningful, and therefore grows you individually as a person, because you have time to pursue your personal goals while being supported in a relationship.
I object. I don't think that has anything to do with specifically long distance relationships. Like all of those things you just said, those are just about relationships in general. Like you can be, you know, talk to somebody on the phone every day, but y'all not really connecting and close to. So everything you're saying is just about communication. Even though you said it wasn't about communication, it is about communication, because it's just, you know, how you guys communicate with each other, and that has nothing to do with physically being close or being apart.
I disagree. I think that it does have something to do with it, because whenever communication is the only foundational leg that you have to stand on, you're going to take care of it in a different way. You're going to tend to it in a different way. And that's just what it is, because that's all you've got, right? So whenever you actually do end up meeting with this person or being together closely, the whole thing.
I have a question.
No, just the last little part of what you were saying.
What's the last, what part of the part? What part are you talking about? What part are you referring to?
Whenever communication is the main leg that you have foundationally in your relationship, you're going to take care of it in a different way. When it's all you've got, you're going to treasure it, you're going to cherish it, you're going to foster that connection. And I would argue that the intimacy that follows that, there's anticipation building up to that, right? So it makes you even more emotionally willing to be more emotionally connected.
Oh, the first time you said whenever you actually do get close is what you said, which brings back me to my point of that's what the end goal is to be close. Then you changed it after, but you know the tape will show. You know, I'm sure somebody's taking this. It's not for a show. But anyways, I think you just kind of hated our point.
To stand on,
be honest.
Effective communication.
Hold on. Everybody,
I keep talking over me, so I was going to jump in.
I would like to also point out that long distance relationships is not limited to just being long distance. We're arguing that visits and communication can absolutely foster a healthy relationship. Thank you.
That ain't what you said. Objection. That ain't what you said.
I'm telling
Get
you
your
why I
shit
said what
together.
I said. Thank you,
Get
counsel.
your stuff
You can
together.
go
We
ahead
want
and
to
get to your argument.
All
Thank
right.
you,
I'm just
counsel.
saying.
Order.
Anyway,
Everybody in the court.
anyway,
Order.
effective
Give me one
communication.
second. One second here, Jamarcus. Hold on 1 second. All right. With that being said, both sides, I've heard both sides, but I want to ask Team One, do you have any substantial statistic that would
Yes.
prove your argument in this statement?
Go ahead.
We do, Judge.
Go
A
ahead,
study by the
present
Journal
yourself.
of Communication found that long-distance couples who maintain regular, meaningful communication report higher levels of intimacy and relationship satisfaction. All right. Also, research from the Journal of Marriage and Family shows that long-distance couples who visit regularly experience greater relationship satisfaction and lower stress levels.
Rainmaker, do you want to?
So,
Amongst what community?
hold up, objection.
What group of people?
1
What was
second.
the
No more
test?
rejection. Hold on Team Two. Give me 1 second. And let me finish with Team One. All right. Let them present their statistics. Rainmaker, do you have any statistical information that you want to add to your co-counsel?
Yes. So long distance relationships it have a 60%, meaning that 68% of long distance relationships make it past the long distance phase. Also a high percentage of that stay long distance and also have meaningful, healthy relationships. So not necessarily in all long distance relationships is the goal to actually finally come together with weekly visits and stuff like that, because of schedules and also each party does. So
all right. Team One, does that conclude your evidence and your statistics that you want to present for the court?
For now, we haven't gotten to all of the legs of our argument. However, if this is the only time we have to present, statistics?
If you have more, you can present them now. You have a little time there. We have a little bit of time here.
Okay, so this goes to the argument of, according to a study published by Personal Relationships, long-distance couples often develop greater trust and communication skills than those geographically close in relationship.
Right.
So that goes to the argument that you can, continue to grow personally and foster independence while still being faithful and still having that healthy relationship that we're talking about. The final statistic is a survey by The Independent found that 58% of people in long-distance relationships felt that time apart improved their personal and professional lives.
All right.
They had the ability to develop professionally because they didn't necessarily have any obligation to meet with their partner, et cetera, et cetera. So they were able to, accomplish their dreams personally and professionally while continuing their self-love journey, understanding self, and still being a reliable partner.
All right.
Thank you.
Do any of you have any personal experience? Any more personal experience examples?
Absolutely. You heard my co-counsel, and I'm sure he's going to get into that a little bit more. I personally just was in a long distance relationship for a very long time, since November, and we were able to maintain intimacy and emotional connection because we would talk regularly, we would speak to each other throughout our day, we would be able to have meaningful conversations that weren't interrupted by physical ones. So we were able to grow that emotional intimacy. We were able to rely on each other. So whenever times came and it was difficult, or it was, I'm having trouble with this, or I need reassurance with that, there was that strong connection to fall back on. It really acted as the foundation for our relationship and allowed us to move past the long distance piece of our relationship. That's my personal experience.
Where I'm asking both of you for Team One and Team Two, where based on your love languages, were you able to touch all your love languages of your relationship?
yes, I'm able to touch all of my love languages and all of my partner's love languages, being in a long distance relationship. There are a number of different tools that we use, as far as apps, as far as asking questions and doing different fun games while we have time to do so. All the different love languages that my partners have, I meet. All my love languages, they meet. And we have been doing this successfully for a number of years.
All right. All right.
I would also like to point out that all of these love languages can absolutely, if we want to go over them very quickly, quality time, obviously you can do that over the phone. Physical touch, you can get creative with technology, but more importantly, you can, whenever you have these visits, whenever you have these visits to maintain this closeness, you can absolutely engage in physical touch. So acts of service, very easily done, long distance. Words of affirmation, very easily done, long distance. Did I mess
I
up?
have to think about the physical touch part. I'll get back to that later.
We're doing visits. We're
Oh,
arguing
actual
that
visits.
visits
Yeah.
maintain.
You actually
Yes,
visit.
we
Oh,
are
okay.
arguing that visits
All right.
maintain that connection.
And
We didn't say to do away with physical touch. We're just
No,
saying.
no. We
We're
asking
just
for the
saying
more
physical.
frequent.
you know what I'm saying?
More for, oh, okay, all right. I thought you were just, I know what you were saying there. All right, team one, appreciate that statement. I'm going to get to team two now.
Your
Go ahead,
Honor,
team two.
before we go, would you like to remind the court of what our arguments are about, like which each team is representing?
Well, you know the argument. What, team one, what are you?
We're to me, it feels like the lines are getting blurred.
Because it's like they keep talking about our stuff, you know what I mean, like the physical touch and like coming and then visits and meeting up and stuff like that. And that's not that's not really your argument though. You're not supposed to be
Right.
talking about
Okay.
You
So
know,
our argument, no. Our
the
argument
visit
is
and
the
whatnot.
importance of regular communication.
I also
and
feel there's a
visits.
bias, Your Honor,
Right,
because
we're
our
not
speech.
heard.
Excuse me.
Wait. Hold on. You asked, hold on, Lex. You asked your question. Let them say what their argument is, and then we'll go to your argument.
This is directly from the bailiff, okay? This is not, I'm not improvising here. L, the drug, and Rainmaker, the importance of regular communication and visits in maintaining a long distance relationship. How long distance relationships can foster independence and trust, potential benefits of having space and maintaining personal growth while apart. I think we have both spoken to each one of these arguments. Thank you.
Right. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead, Lex. Go ahead and get on your subject matter and talk about.
Well, before that, am I allowed to talk? Because I feel like a strong bias in this courtroom right now. I don't like to be muted when you tell me it's my turn to talk. Honestly, that shit will piss me off. That shit will piss me the fuck off, actually. So I don't think we should do that anymore. If you want me on the show, vibes, you. But do you want me here or not? I'm not asking you a question. Now I'm asking you a question. I asked you a question before, but you wanted to have L the drug talk about the question.
You can box down if you like. It's no problem.
Okay, that's fine.
It's up to you. I mean,
I'm about to mute me and then have them unmuted. That sounds crazy to me. Like the hell?
I'm just trying to get you asked your question, get a point across. That's cool. It's fine. So Marcus, go ahead.
All right. Well, shit. Long distance relationships. Bad. Thanks a lot, vibes. I mean, not vibes, legs. Long distance relationships are bad. I don't really know. It says 75% of college students say they've been in long distance relationships, whereas most of them only have that college experience. The average long distance relationship really only lasts 3.5 years. So if you're going to school for 4 years, you got 6 months of really trying to figure out yourself. Then you jump into a long distance relationship with Timmy or Jessica, and usually that does what it is. However, Rainmaker had made a good point. Long distance relationships, he says they allow them to whatever, like, you're growing with each other, you're maturing, you're figuring each other out, you're touching maybe 4 out of the 5 different love languages. But again, my previous point, how many of those people that have been in long distance relationships takes the time to actually work those different levels? Levels. Damn, I can't talk. They work their different levels to actually get to that point where, we're leading up to physical touch. We're absolutely able to get there and it's satisfying, versus they're cheating with their neighbor. They're cheating with somebody more readily available. However, the good point about this is, I will say this, even though my argument is why long distance relationships are bad, 60% of couples in long distance relationships are able to make it work. So I'm glad, it's more than half are able to make it work, because like I said, the divorce rate is high, that breakup rate is high, and it's high because people aren't doing the work, the shadow work. What else? There's another one in here. Oh yeah, it's a good point. Half the people in long distance relationships are lonely to begin with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, get your stuff together before getting in any type of relationship, whether it be close, whether it be long, so that you're not putting that stain or scar on the next, you know what I'm saying, person.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. That was short, sweet, to the point argument.
And I appreciate that, Marcus. And to defend the reason why I muted him, because he did ask a question to Elle, and she was trying to clarify what she was saying. How's she gonna clarify what she's saying if you're talking over all the time? That's why I did that, and I wasn't meaning to silence him. I briefly just wanted to silence him so she can explain what he asked a question to her. She's answering a question. Okay, so with that being said, apologize to the courtroom. It is what it is, and we'll continue with going into third round, and we'll go to closing arguments and go ahead and during this keep it brief, and also get to the point and and close out your arguments. We'll have I think we start with team one. So I think team two will start the closing statements.
All I know is as we conclude Virgo season, we're going to conclude and wrap up this argument, right? Any type of relationships that you get to, whether they're LDR, long distance, or whether they're in close proximity, figure out who you are, right? Figure out if, hey, don't mute my conversations, babe. I don't like it. You're going to make me go crazy. Establish that communication just so that, vibes and legs don't go crazy on each other. I'm just saying that's that communication, right? We have to talk it out. So whatever it is, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If that's your person, let it be that person. Be mindful of your time. Don't be too boring. Take your vitamins, say your prayers, and communicate effectively. Not just communicate, effectively, and listen and communicate. I'm the Fox. Hashtag is Fox.
I will quickly draw a conclusion based on, there's a difference in Virgos. There's August Virgos, there's September Virgos, we're September Virgos. Okay, that's it. Now, the final thing I want to say is I would like to use this app for my closing argument, this tagged app here. Here we have all bonded. We have shared time together, and we have never met each other. Not one of us has ever met each other in this box. You understand what I'm saying? We have not been in physical proximity of each other, yet I know that I can be like, yo, Virgo, Fox, what's good, right? I know that I can hit up Rain whenever I'm like, yo, I'm dealing with this for my shadow work, and I'm struggling with this. How can I do this? What can I do? I know that I can hit up Vibes, and I'm like, yo, I got this great idea for content, right? I've fostered these relationships without ever actually meeting any one of these gentlemen. I would also like to point out that many of us in the comments have done the same thing. A lot of us has never met our number one. A lot of us has never met our number two. That person that's always boxing up with you, that comes in and sees how you're doing, that person that you're like, yo, I haven't seen you in forever, how you been? When they come in your stream after it's been 6 months, let me tell you something, you've built a connection with them. You have built a relationship with them, and it does not need physical proximity to continue. You understand what I'm saying? Because when they come in here right now, everybody gonna be like, hi, so-and-so, hi, so-and-so. All the comments are gonna go, all right? Thank you.
I second that. I second that. I second that. Let's go.
Mic drop.
That's a mic drop. I'm not going behind that. That's a mic drop.
All right. This concludes the any last statements from any of the counsels on the case. I
We rest,
appreciate
Your Honor.
Counsel rest. Jamarcus, you rest.
Huh?
You rest your case.
Oh, rest. Yeah, I thought you said rest. I was like, wait, what?
we have the counsels boxed down. We're going to go into the deliberation processes of the court. The juror is deliberating as we speak, and we're going to have maybe we have Chakra Energy to step in there and give her take if she to the court about the case. If you're just joining us again, this is Love and Order. I'm your host, the Honorable Judge Vibes. We just heard round 1, 2, and 3 opening statements, evidential statements, and also closing arguments from both teams 1 and 2. When the jury is going into deliberation right now in the back, and we're going to find out who is going to win this case and close the case. Will be a closed case? Will be, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Chakra Energy.
Hey everybody.
Appreciate you. How you doing, Chakra?
Okay. So I was able to hear both sides, right? And like both sides have a lot of valid points. I'll start off with team 2. The simple fact of long distance relationships still requiring a little bit more. Like Elle said, we are connecting with each other on this app. Of course, we are. But I don't need to be big spooned by my number 1, 2, or 3. I don't need a long extended hug from everyone that I come in, contact with on the app. So I feel like the connection and the level of these relationships are definitely different. Having a long distance friendship is completely different from having a romantic relationship. And I could say that I live it right now because, like Tatiana said, some of these people are having fake relationships. But I am married and my husband is a truck driver. So I can say from personal experience that no matter how I look at it, yes, I've had time to, work on things for myself. Yes, I've had time to not be as self-dependent on him and stand alone and work on things, but it has caused a lot of extended stress and pressure of me holding stuff down at the house by myself, so it does, kind of like put a damper because it's like you're not here and I got to deal with this on my own. So no matter how I look at it, he's gone for a while. It's going to bother me at some point. It's going to bother me no matter how you look at it. It's going to be a time where you're going to be like, babe, I don't want to be alone tonight. I don't want to deal with this on my own. So that's where, romantic relationships will come in a little differently because you have higher expectations of that person being your partner. You get what I'm saying? Not saying that it won't work, but both sides definitely had some valid points, and it does, because I lived it. I done been stressed for y'all. I done cried. I done, took some anger out on Chill a little bit, by just being so stressed and feeling by myself. So, yes, I agree with both sides. You have to be self-sufficient. You shouldn't be so dependent. Thank y'all for the gifts. Shouldn't be so dependent on each other. But after a while, distance will grow the heart fonder, but too much distance will establish some level of stress and insecurities in your relationship.
All right, so we're going to bring the juror up and find out the verdict is. Shout out to everybody that is joining us. This is Love and Order. I'm your host, Judge Vibes, and we just heard first, second, and third round, and now we're having deliberation, and I believe the jury has come up with a decision on the case.
Right. So we, the juror, have cited, L and Rainmaker based off the facts and the evidence that's presented. In some cases, Team 2 did not present the argument. Just for example, I didn't hear anything about supporting each other in everyday life. I believe round 2, Jamarcus was talking about poly, which is nowhere in here. So it was just everything based on the facts of the key points in consideration. We have gone with L and Rainmaker.
All right. The jury has spoken. The verdict is in. L and Rainmaker, congratulations on winning your case. Thank you to Marcus Fox and Legs for presenting your evidence and being part of the show. If you're just joining us again, this is Love and Order. We have concluded the case of long distance relationships, and we're good. It was actually a good case, and I really appreciate everybody being here. Thank you everybody for their patience. We appreciate it.